Hello, my name is Tom Angelo, and in this tutorial video, I will be presenting information on how our current freshmen can register for their sophomore classes. In this video, we will be going over the mini program of studies, which is the copy you received in class from English. It is the stapled copy that contains all of the different class choices available to sophomores. You will also eventually need your carbon copy. This is the sheet that has the attachment at the top. Eventually we will separate that together in class. So for now, all you need is the proposed schedule worksheet that is attached to the mini program of studies. Things to remember. As we begin filling out your worksheet, some things to remember are that you will need 28 total credits to graduate. Also, there are recommended classes for students interested in certain pathways. We have healthcare pathways, art pathways, education pathways, engineering, all sorts of different pathways. So if you're interested in taking classes that will help you learn more about a specific career, please consult the Pathways link under the Academics tab on the Cape and Mount Carmel website for more details. Finally, make sure you are considering college entrance requirements, especially for out-of-state colleges. I'll explain more about these entrance requirements when we discuss certain electives. If you're a Cum Laude student, make sure you're fulfilling your obligations to complete the Cum Laude program. This includes taking honors classes in the following amount. You will need to take 4 honors English classes, 4 honors math classes, 4 honors science classes, 3.5 social science classes, and 3 world language classes, all honors level. Religion. We're now ready to start filling out our worksheet, and we're going to begin by choosing a religion class. So, for sophomores, you will need to select New Testament and Prayer and Liturgy. We select this semester based on the first letter of our last name. So, let's go to our mini program of studies. Remember, this is the stapled together pack, not the carbon copy. The mini program of studies is intended to be a rough draft. Go ahead and put your name at the top. And you'll notice that there are 2 separate course codes for each religion class. We have our first semester choices, by the way, in this column here, second semester here. So for our religion, our courses are separated by the first letter of your last name in this way. For 7251, this will take students A through M, and 7252 will be for students with last name N through Z. And then for second semester, it's just the opposite. 7301 is for students N through Z, and 7302 is for A through M. Since my last name is Angelo, I would circle 7251 and 7302. For English, you will need to select either English 2 or Honors English 2. So this is an instance where the course code is listed for you on the sheet. To fill this out, I need to identify which course I'm going to be taking. So I will sign up for English. And this is a full year course, so I put it in both semesters. Then I write the course code right here, KMC 1204. Again, I put that in both semesters. Next, let's fill in our math. So for most sophomores, you will be taking geometry or honors geometry unless you were able to take it early. If you did take geometry or honors geometry early, please see a counselor and we will help you figure out what math would be best for you to take next. Some of you might have heard that it's possible to double up in math, but there is no math class that can be doubled up with geometry. So this will make things a little bit easier. For math, we do need to select the class from the program of studies. We need to find it. It's on the second page. And what we're looking for is a course code. So geometry, the course code for geometry is 1405, KMC 1405. For honors geometry, it's KMC 1419. So KMC 1405, geometry. And again, I'm putting it in both semesters because it's a full year course. All right. Science. Sophomores will take biology or honors biology. Again, if you did take this class early as a freshman, see a counselor and we will help you figure out what science class to take next. But for all of our students here that are taking biology, here's what we will put. Okay, so the course codes are written here. For biology, it's KMC 1901. You see the honors course code right there. It will be on your sheet as well. And again, it's a year-long course. So there we go. Social sciences. This year you have the choice between U.S. History 1 or Honors U.S. History 1. Once again, I am looking at the course codes here. MC 708 is for U.S. History 1. If I need to abbreviate this, that's okay, just as long as I make sure I have the course code there. MC 708, U.S. History 1. All right, we are moving along. World language. So it's now time for us to start looking at some electives and making some choices. With world language, 1 credit is required for graduation from Cape and Mount Carmel, and also 1 credit is required for in-state colleges, Wichita State, KU, K-State, Fort Hays State, Pitt State, on and on. So if you took a world language as a freshman and you know you're going to be staying in-state, you do not have to do a world language this year. We certainly encourage that if it's something you want to do. If you are looking at an out-of-state college, even if you're just thinking about an out-of-state college, do take a look at your college choices website and try to find the requirements for incoming freshmen. Many out-of-state colleges may require 2 or more years of the same language. If you need help locating your college entrance requirements, please let a counselor know, and we can work on that with you. So let's go ahead and fill this out on our sheet here. If you do not want to do a world language, you can leave this blank for now, and later we'll come back and we'll choose some electives to fill those spots up. But I'm going to go ahead and sign up for a world language, and that's on the back page. So let's say I am ready for French 2. I'm going to choose KMC 1313. It is a year-long class. There we go. Again, if you're not going to take a world language, we will leave that area blank and we'll fill in some other elective choices there instead. Other electives. Before we start picking electives, we need to make sure that required classes for graduation have been completed or that you have them scheduled to be completed this coming year, which means we need to review our transcripts and our current course classes to see if we're taking fine arts classes, because 1 full year of fine arts is needed, a half credit of communications. If you took business marketing or journalism this year, you will be fine. That completes your communications requirement. Our other communications courses that will be offered this coming year are communications itself and intro to debate and forensics. We have some choices there, and I'll go over those here momentarily in detail. If you did not take PE as a freshman, you need to take it as a sophomore. You should have a half credit of computer applications or semester computer applications. And finally, financial planning. Financial planning will be something that most sophomores end up taking. It's also something that many juniors take. So let's go over these a little bit more in detail. Communications, again, our choices are intro to debate, advanced debate, forensics, journalism, business marketing, and also we will be offering a communications class this coming year, which is essentially like speech, giving speeches and whatnot. Fine arts, your choices are intro to theater, intro to art, and music. If you've completed these introductory classes, there are further classes you may take. After intro to theater, there's acting 1 and acting 2, and also stagecrafts. After intro to art, there's 2D art, 3D art, ceramics, many different choices. With music, we have band. We have a new band elective called orchestra, which we'll talk about here in a moment. There's also music appreciation and history of rock and roll. So lots of choices among the fine arts. Please note that foods, clothing, we have a couple of other practical arts like interior design. It's listed in our program of studies, but those classes are not considered fine arts, so they do not satisfy this graduation requirement. They are wonderful classes to take. There's immense value in taking them, but just understand that they are not fine arts. Some communications electives, such as forensics, may count as either art or communications, but not both simultaneously. So look at the program of studies for more examples. But in that example, looking at forensics, so if you take forensics and then you take an art class, that forensics could be counted as your communications. If you take forensics, but then follow it up with business marketing, that forensics could count as your art credit. So one or the other, but just not both at the same time. Other required electives, PE, computer applications, financial planning. Again, many of you took PE and computer apps last year, your freshman year. If not, try to work them in as a sophomore. Financial planning, as mentioned, is ordinarily taken sophomore or junior year. Do plan on enrolling in that class if possible. 2 new electives will be offered next year. They are orchestra and robotics. For orchestra, our existing band class will be refocused on traditional high school pep band style. So lots of drums, horns, trumpets, etc. Our orchestra elective will have a greater focus on strings, harmonies, and different styles of music. We're still putting together the class itself and may exist as a class within a class. So our orchestra and band would meet together at the beginning of the block, separate, and then have some time to play together now and then. But orchestra, like band, is a year-long commitment. The second new elective is robotics. Robotics class covers the design, programming, and construction of robots. Capen has a fantastic robotics team. It's well known. It's won national recognition. So this is a great way for students to that are interested in robotics to explore that a little bit further without just being in the club, although we would encourage them to be in the club as well. This is a year-long class, so expect a year-long commitment. It is also a college-level class, and yes, as a sophomore, you can take this class and receive college credit. Finally, before you choose your electives, think about their prerequisites. Prerequisites must be completed before you can be signed up for a class. This includes intro to theater before taking set construction, intro to art before ceramics. It is important that you have met the prerequisite and you list it in the correct order when you enroll. You need to make sure you plan accordingly or you may not get your class choices. Let's work on our elective worksheet right now. As mentioned, career and financial planning is a class that must be taken at some point during your career at Capen, and we would recommend getting it out of the way or getting it completed as a sophomore. It is only a semester long. Like your religion classes, it is broken up by semester with last names, A through M and N through Z. So if it's A through M, if my last name begins A through M, I will enroll in the first semester, N through Z, second semester. So once again, I'll be enrolling in the first semester since my last name begins with an A. And that leaves a spot for another elective. I now have 1, 2, 3 semester-long blocks You might have 2 more if you are not taking a world language. So, what to pick? I want to make sure that I have completed all of my required electives. I need to look at my transcript and make sure that I've completed computer applications, that I've completed PE, that I have a start on art, that I have communications, that sort of thing. So in this example, what I will be doing is looking through the course catalog, the different electives. On page 3, there's art, there's drafting, there's drama, all sorts of things. So this is where you will be spending the most time choosing your elective choices. So let's say for this example that I will do drafting. Drafting is a year-long class. So I'm going to fill it in where I have a year open. The course code is KMC 1641. By the way, drafting does fulfill my art requirement. So I am completing my art this year. I'm completing the financial plan requirement. I also want to make sure that I get communications this year. Communications are found on page 2. And it lists everything there. So I will select introduction to debate or communications or forensics or journalism, that sort of thing. What I will do is, oh, you know what? This is a good time to explain something. For introduction to debate, it says semester 1 only. You might notice that just because of the virtue of my last name, I don't have semester 1 open. This is an instance where I can go ahead and record intro to debate. And I'm going to use the same course code, KMC 619. The reason being, intro to debate will only be taught first semester. So the computer, when it creates the schedule for the students, will notice that there's a conflict and it will automatically move financial plan over to second semester for me. So as long as I have my correct course code numbers in there, we will be just fine. The last thing I need to do is fill in my alternates. We'll discuss the importance of filling in the alternates as well. Please do not leave these blank. Now that we've completed most of your worksheet, I thought I would talk to you a little bit about some of the future opportunities you might have at Cape and Mount Carmel. As a senior, we have different academies that you can take advantage of. Please plan to get into these academies by taking care of your prerequisites now. These academies are WSU Tech, St. Gianna Healthcare Academy, and the Sister Kathleen Teaching Academy. One opportunity that Cape and Mount Carmel offers for juniors and seniors is to enroll at WSU Tech. This option is for students who are probably not going to be attending a 4-year college right after high school. Instead, they might be seeking some workforce training or an associate's degree or some vocational training. WSU Tech offers program blocks in areas such as welding, robotics, medical fields, nursing, and many, many others. So if this is something that might interest you, please find a time to meet with a counselor and we can go over the choices and how to enroll for WSU Tech in detail. But a student who is enrolled in WSU Tech would meet for half a day, either the morning or afternoon, at Cape and Mount Carmel based on your choice of classes offered at WSU Tech. For example, a student taking WSU Tech classes in the afternoon would come to Cape in the morning and complete 2 blocks. So it is important for students to make sure that they have a way to get to and from Cape and Mount Carmel. You still have to fit in all of your other required classes for graduation from Cape and Mount Carmel, such as religion, English, math, government, and possibly others. Your science class that you take as a junior will be pushed to senior year. This experience can last from 1 semester to 2 years. One final benefit to this is that the tuition is free. Students do need to pay for books and materials, but everything else is provided by WSU Tech. One of our more well-known experiences is the St. Gianna Healthcare Academy. In this program, students would spend 2 afternoon blocks a day for 1 semester at Via Christi. While they're there, they're shadowing doctors and physicians and learning about various medical professions. Interested students, after signing up for this on their sheet, would receive an application. Those students must have a 3.0 before applying, and they go through a formal interview process off campus. The choice of semester is not guaranteed, so keep this in mind if you have other obligations such as sports. Another opportunity available to seniors is the Sister Kathleen Gilbert Teaching Academy. In this experience, students would spend 2 afternoon blocks a day for 1 semester at local parish and public schools, or at Newman or Cape and Mount Carmel for lectures. So 4 days a week, they would be working with teachers in the classroom and having some time with students. They're doing more than clerical work. They're actually learning the art of teaching. And then 1 day a week, they would be attending lectures about the profession of education. Interested students would receive an application. Candidates must have a 3.0 before applying, and they go through a formal interview process with either me or Mr. Stevenson or Mr. Bloomer, or even the principals themselves from our partnered schools. The Teaching Academy is first semester only. All right, let's do a little bit of recap here. So what you have received today. The first thing you received was the mini program of studies. These are classes as they pertain to your upcoming year of high school. It's also what we have spent most of this video filling out. So please use this as a guide and as a prerequisite check. It's also where you can find course numbers for filling in the schedule worksheet. As I mentioned earlier, you're going to spend most of your time looking at different electives and making sure that you have classes that you want to take penciled in. The full version of the program of studies with a lot more information is available at the Cape and Mount Carmel website under the Academics tab on the homepage. Another item you received today is the schedule worksheet, the carbon copy version that we referred to at the beginning of the video. This is the item that has the glue at the top, keeping the pages together. The carbon copy worksheet is considered your final copy of your class selections. So once you've finished filling out the worksheet on the mini program of studies and you're satisfied with your choices, go ahead and write those down on the carbon copy sheet. Please do it as neatly as possible. Use pen, press firmly. Do not separate this until a counselor comes to your English class to pick them up. We will take one of the copies and leave you the other one, and we will review them and just make sure that everything was filled out correctly. Also, using your copy, you will be responsible for enrolling through PowerSchool. When you do this enrollment on PowerSchool, use a desktop or laptop, not your cell phone or your tablet. There will be a separate tutorial for enrolling online. Something you will need, though, to enroll online is your PowerSchool login. So make sure to ask for it now. You can get it by emailing Mrs. Lutz at alutz@capen.org if you do not have it. You also received today a new and returning student application form. This is a basic information form that also asks for the $150 application fee. That fee can be a check written out to KMC. And like all of the other documents, this will be collected in English class on February 4th if you have English on A Day, and February 5th if you have English on B Day. You also received a transcript. This is the official record of the classes you've taken, which should be used to make sure that you are on track for graduation. Again, just to go over everything we've talked about, the first step for enrollment is to write down your choices on the mini program of studies. We filled out all the required things together. You will be spending most of your time with the electives and your alternate choices. When you have completed your choices, you'll next write them on the carbon copy worksheet right here. Online enrollment begins now. So when you have completed filling out both sheets, you can use those completed forms to pick your classes online. If you're having trouble with the online enrollment, just make sure to check out the other tutorial video for help. On February 4th and 5th, counselors will return to your classroom to pick up the front page of your enrollment sheet, the new and returning student application form, and a $150 check made out to Cape and Mount Carmel. You must have the above materials turned in for enrollment to be finalized. Finally, just some general tips. As you're going to be spending most of your time picking electives, just take your time. Be as careful as possible when choosing your classes on your enrollment sheets. If you receive your schedule in the fall and you have changed your mind and you no longer want to take your first or second choices, you will be assessed a $25 fee to drop a class and add a class. So make sure that your first and second choices are the ones you really want. If we are unable to give you your first or second choices, meaning you have a hole in your schedule, we weren't able to give you either of your choices, we will meet with you to find an alternative, and there's no charge for that. If we are unable to give you your first or second choices, meaning you have a hole or a gap in your schedule, we will meet with you to find an alternative, and there's no charge for that. Just last reminder here that due on February 4th for A-Day English, or February 5th for B-Day English, we need 3 paper items brought to class. They are the completed enrollment worksheet, and that's the carbon copy. We do not need the mini program studies back. Remember not to detach the carbon copy yet. We will separate it together in class. The second item is the new and returning student application form. And the final item is the check for registration fees, which is $150 made out to KMC. Online enrollment must be completed by February 5th. Please remember, if you are having any problems at all, or if you have any questions or need any assistance, come and see a counselor. We are here to help. Thank you and good luck.